Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Remy. So I decided that I want to do an ACOTAR reading vlog. I'm on chapter 7 currently. I am actually loving this book and I want to talk about it. So there will be spoilers in this vlog, just to let you know. I'm at chapter 7 and Feyre is at the estate, I guess is what they call it, at Tamlin's estate. So I don't know if it's just me, but Tamlin's a little something. Maybe I have issues, but I like him as a character. This goodbye part, bro, had me like I didn't cry or anything, but the goodbye, I can't. Okay, so what Feyre's dad says: "You were always too good for here, Feyre. Too good for us, too good for everyone. If you ever escape, ever convince them that you've paid the debt, don't return. Don't ever come back. Don't ever come back, Feyre. You go somewhere new and you make a name for yourself." So obviously there's words in between that, and this is just dialogue that I've underlined, but it is just, I didn't expect that from her dad. I mean, it is her dad, so I guess I should have. In the beginning, she kind of makes it seem like he ignores them most of the time, and I guess maybe because he feels shame as a father because his youngest daughter is taking care of them, which makes sense, I guess. They talk about his downfall, so I guess they were a kind of like wealthy, they were like well-off wealthy people, and then after their father's downfall or whatever they're talking about, they end up being poor. Feyre, I understand Feyre's like not wanting to trust them because of all the legends and stuff she's heard about the Fae, but if I was in that situation and I, one, knew the Fae could not lie, two, knew that they could literally kill me in the matter of seconds, I would just listen to them. And like, she didn't want to eat the food because it said that she was going to be a slave to them if she ate the food. That was what the legend said. But she's already in Prythian. Is that what it's called? Prythian? She's already in Prythian, so like, and already has to pay debt, so even if she didn't eat the food, she would have still had to been a slave either way if that was the way that Tamlin was going to go with it. I would have just ate the food because I would have known that the food wasn't poisoned, because if they wanted to kill me, they would have killed me in a more graphic, you know, graphic way, because she killed one of their like own, and they would rather have like turned into their little wolf people and mauled her than poison her. It wouldn't have been as satisfying for them. So I feel like if I was in that situation, I would just ate, bitch. I would just ate the food. I would have just, you know, been like, okay, let me listen to these people so I don't die because they're grateful enough to let me live. I literally put in the bottom, Feyre, honey, just be complacent. I was like, bro, just listen to them. Anyways, I like Tamlin. Tamlin's great. Lucien's a good character too. He's kind of a dick, but he's a funny dick. And I like him as a character, not as a person. Or Fae? Person, Fae? Anyways, my camera's gonna die. So I'm gonna read some. I might check in on chapter 10 and let my camera charge a little bit, and then I'll do like a little time lapse of me reading after I check in at chapter 10. Okay, bye. Okay, hi guys, I am on chapter 10. So I think the last thing I talked about was I was on starting chapter 7. So what happened between 7, 8, and 9? Tamlin tries to like show Feyre around and like try and like talk to her, but she's not really having it. She's like, no. How about a no? Oh, I don't know if I talked about last time that Faye finds out, did I say Faye? Feyre. That Feyre finds out that there is a disease that is spreading throughout Prythian. It is called the Blythe or something. But it forces Tamlin and all of the other Fae to keep this like masquerade mask they have on, because the I think it's Blithing, whatever. It started when they were at a masquerade, I guess, party or whatever. So the disease, like, is something that affects magic, and mostly everything that they have, I believe, comes from magic. So they made the masks with their magic, I guess, and then the Blythe affected them, so they can no longer take the masks off, which I found very interesting. And then in these 3 chapters, which we find about the Blythe or whatever before chapter 7, I just forgot to mention it. We find out through 7, 8, and 9 that the party that they went to with the masquerade masks was a party to celebrate Tamlin, because Tamlin is like a high fae who has like shape-shifting powers. So all of them are wearing different animals masks to celebrate Tamlin's shape-shifting abilities. Feyre is currently was trying to come up with a plan to leave Prythian, or like convince Tamlin to like let her leave, like another loophole in the treaty so that she could go be with her family. And she was trying to convince Lucien to talk to Tamlin, or she wanted to convince him to talk to Tamlin to get her out, but Lucien saw right through her, because she went to the stables looking for Lucien before he went on his patrols for the border or whatever of Prythian. And he like invited her along as kind of like well, I don't know why he did. I guess because he wanted to see what she would do to talk to him, because he, again, like I said, saw right through her and was like, I'm flattered that you think I have that kind of sway with Tamlin, but there's no loophole in the tree anyways. Like, you are gonna stay here forever. And Feyre cannot fathom that. She like hates the thought of it. And, you know, maybe I'm just a really really complacent person, or like kind of like whatever person, but if I was in her situation, and like, the Fae can't lie, right? So like, I knew that my family was taken care of to some extent, and I was still alive, and I was living in this like basically luxury, I would be like, you know what? Why would I try and leave? Because as soon as she tries and leaves, her family will be taken care of, and then she'll die. So then her family will die because they're not being taken care of, and none of them know how to, like, her father can't hunt because he has a limp leg, like he has a bad leg, and her sisters can't hunt because they're how they are, and so I think the smart thing to do would be to stay. And it's not like I get it, she's giving up like her family and like the one person she talked to there, but she says so much she has no feelings for Isaac, which I think is a freaking lie. She just tries to convince herself so she doesn't get close to somebody. But whatever. I just want her to get over this like trying to leave thing, because I don't know, I would have accepted my fate by then. Again, I think I would just give up and be like, damn, well, I guess I'm here forever. I don't know. And I guess it would be different if I was actually her, because she grew up hearing these stories about the Fae and like how terrible they are and whatever. But actually her encountering them, they aren't that kind of rude to her, but I guess it could be the Fae that she's surrounded by, because Tamlin is, as they always say, a more merciful fairy. then I hate calling them fairies because in my brain I think of little cute little pixie people. But when I think of fae, I think of like how they're described in the book. So I feel like I should just call them fae. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Tamlin's like a more merciful fae, and most of them would just kill her just for being human, even if they didn't know about Andrus. And so I mean, I guess I could see her distaste or like kind of wanting to leave, but she's guaranteed to be safe, and she has this whole entire estate with a garden. Bro, I would love to live there. And Tamlin, bro, Tamlin. If I was her, and I know her as a character, as we know her right now, she tries not to get close to people. She only cares about her family, and herself, and well, she doesn't really care that much about herself because she'd rather die than... Anyways, so she cares about her family. She doesn't want to get close to people. She feels like she's responsible for taking care of her family because a promise that she made to her mother. So I guess I could see why she wouldn't want to be there. But I like Tamlin a lot. I think he's trying to be so sweet. He was like, his morning rounds or whatever he said was canceled, so he was like offering to take her along the grounds and like show her everything, and I feel like that's so sweet. He's been trying to be so nice to her, and Feyre's just kind of being a bitch, and I'm just like, bro, give Tamlin a chance. He's trying to be nice. I'm like saying this like I know this man, but even from a survival standpoint, if I was Feyre and not like head over heels fatal for freaking Tamlin, I would still want to know my surroundings. If it was at a survival standpoint, I would want to know everything of the grounds. I don't even know how she found the stables without having a tour of the grounds, because from what I have gathered, the grounds is pretty large. So maybe she saw them in the distance and like assumed they were stables and like ran to them. I don't know. She talks about how she was out of breath by the time she got there, I think, or something. So I would assume she had to go a good distance to get there. But I still would want a tour of the grounds to know, you know, where the grounds start, where they end, where am I safe, where am I not, because they talk about constantly and they stress to her that Tamlin's authority only goes but so far. But, you know, Feyre's Feyre, so she's very stubborn, as I've gathered from these 10 chapters, and that once she has her mind set to do something, like to go and confront Lucien to try and get him to sway Tamlin into letting her leave, instead of, oh, she even says, Lucien's probably gone by now, but let me try. Instead of going, oh, okay, Lucien's probably gone by now, so there's no point in going to the stables. Let me take this offer to tour the grounds to get to know my surroundings. I'm not saying this is a flaw of the book. I'm not complaining. I'm complaining about the character. But we are in the beginning of the character arc where the character is kind of annoying and irritating, and they're stuck in their ways, and you just want to beat the side of their head and be like, bro, what are you doing? So this is good writing in my point of view as a writer. Majority of the time, the majority of the book, you're angry with the character anyways. Like, you like the character, you like or love the character depending on the story, but there's just some things about them because they're so stuck in their ways, you're like, bro, I'm gonna deck you in the face if you don't just go and see the entire picture right now. Get out of what you're used to and think maybe they're not like that. And think about it for once, okay? Because you're getting on my nerves. And that's how I feel with Feyre and Tamlin right now. Because everything he says to her, she's like, well, what is he trying to do? Like, mock me or something? No, maybe think he's trying to be nice. Big thought right there. I don't know. I'm going to continue reading because something just approached Lucien and Feyre in the woods, and Lucien's scared. So we're gonna see what it is. But I will have a time lapse of me reading, so enjoy that. Okay, so I'm starting chapter 11 right now, and Feyre sees her father outside of her window as she's waiting for Tamlin to come back from hunting this creature called the Bog that they had ran into on their hunt, which is what was scaring Lucian, because you're not supposed to look at it, it's invisible, and it can kill you if you look at it. So only Tam can go up against it because he's the only one strong enough, so he went to go hunt it. He hasn't came back yet, so she was watching for his return, and then she saw movement out the window. She looked out the window, and it was her father. This feels like a trap to me because her father is, one, crippled. 2, it takes them 2 days to get to Prithian, let alone getting to the estate. She doesn't know where she is, so how would her father know where she is? And also, her father is crippled. How did nobody, not even like a natural thing, see him, spot him at all? I already know this is going to be a trap. I already know. Okay, so it was a trap. It was a freaking being that could like shift into anything that like the person would want to see to like lure them to eat them, right? So Tamlin catches her in time and is able to scare away the creature before she gets eaten. Now they're kind of arguing right now. Tamlin is asking her what she wants, and she says she wants to go home. So let's see how this conversation goes. Hey guys, it's been 2 days. So the last clip was on Thursday, and this is on Saturday. I decided that I'm going to do check-ins every 10 chapters. So I'm on chapter 20. And tonight's probably going to be the most time I'm going to have reading. But let's review the last 10 chapters. So all of the cute shit started happening, and I tabbed everything. I'm running out of sweet cute tabs because I keep tabbing everything. So basically in the last 10 chapters, Feyre learns a lot of things. There's a lot of important tabs. It's when Tamlin starts to get more like kind of intimate and vulnerable with her. She learns about all the different types of fairies and creatures that are trying to eat her. So there's the Bog, which is like this invisible creature, and if you look at it, that's the one that can kill you. There is the Puka, which is this like fairy that shifts into any of your desires to lure you in and take you to a more remote place and slowly eat you. And then there's the Naga, which is these like shadow fairy creatures that run in packs, and they just kind of, they kill fairies too. I don't think the Naga are fairies, they're just like a creature. Also, she learns about the Surreal, which is a fairy that if you capture it, it'll tell you, like, it'll answer your questions and whatever. So she meets him, and he tells her about She tells her, he like basically confirms to her that there's no way out of the treaty. You need to stay with Tamlin. And then he kind of reveals to her that he's the High Lord of the Spring Court, which she didn't know. And then she asks about the Blight, which I said Blythe last time, but it's Blight. So she asks about the Blight and where it started, and then he talks about the king that rules the other part of the fairy realm that doesn't have courts. It's called the Hybern. And he's like more cruel, and he doesn't like the treaty with that they can't enslave the humans and the humans can't kill the fairies. He doesn't like the treaty, and he says to her that his throne is made of human bones, which I think is interesting. Anyways, after that is when her and Tamlin start to kind of trust one another, because she's like, okay, well, my family's okay, I need to stay with Tamlin. And he like explains to her that he had like glamored their memories, is what he calls it, or glamorized their memories, to where they think that she went off with like a long lost aunt and that she's okay and that they're taken care of and they're fed and they are safe. And that if the Blight were to cross over into the Mortal Lands, that they know to run. So they're going to be safe and fine. And that's what she was mainly worried about, because she was mainly worried about keeping the vow to her mother. He explains to her about their glamorized memories. And this is what he says to her, which, oh my god, I was like, I literally wrote, I'm screaming on the bottom. Hold on. So this is Tamlin talking. They're fools for not seeing it. You gave up so much for them. He lifted his other hand as if to brush my cheek. I braced myself for the touch, but he lowered it before making contact. Do you even know how to laugh? And I wanted to die. She's like, I don't want your pity, bro. Leave me alone. And then he was like, well, why can't we be friends? And then she's like, you're a fairy, I'm mortal, can we even be friends? And then he explains to her that during the war, fairies were friends with humans so much that they fought for them on their side during the war. And she didn't know that. 500 years ago, enough fairies were friends with mortals that they went to war on their behalf. Were you one of them? I was a child at the time, too young to understand what was happening or even to be told, he said. But had I been old enough, I would have. Against slavery, against tyranny, I would gladly go to my death, no matter whose freedom I was defending. And I just put, I love Tamlin so much on it. Because I do. I love him so much. He's such a great character. And then she's like, she finally is like trusting him, and then she tells him she loves to paint, which I don't think I said that in the beginning, but she loves to paint. For the people that are watching this anyway, even if you haven't read it. And there's this little romance part that has me like screaming. Okay, so he smiled at me still, broadly and without restraint or hesitation. Isaac had never smiled at me like that. Isaac had never made my breath catch just a little bit. And I was like, and also I think I mentioned Isaac before, but Isaac was kind of her like little boy toy, her little side hoe, her little link. She is getting all upset about, she's like missing her family, and she realizes with their glamored memories, they're gonna like forget her. They're not gonna really care that she's not there. And so she kind of is feeling guilty for doing things that she enjoys, like painting and seeing all the beautiful sights of the spring court and stuff like that. So she she is in the garden and she picks a rose from the garden, and she doesn't care that the thorns are there, and it stabs into her and like creates a wound on her hand, and she's like bleeding. And this was Tamlin's response, right? He took my hands, his calloused fingers strong and sturdy, were gentle as he lifted my bleeding hand to his mouth and kissed my palm, as if that were answer enough. His lips were smooth against my skin, his breath warm, and my knees buckled as he lifted my other hand to his mouth and kissed it too. Kissed it carefully in a way that made heat begin pounding in my core between my legs. Don't feel bad for one moment about doing what brings you joy. He stepped closer, releasing one of my hands to tuck the rose I plucked behind my ear. I couldn't stop myself from pushing. Why? Why do any of this? He leaned in closer, so close that I had to tip my head back to see him. Because your human joy fascinates me. The way you experience things in your lifespan so wildly and deeply and all at once is entrancing. I'm drawn to it even though I know I shouldn't be, even when I try not to be. Because I'm human, I was human, and I would grow old, and I didn't let myself get that far as he came closer still. Slowly, as if giving me time to pull away, he brushed his lips against my cheek, soft and warm and heartbreakingly gentle. It was hardly more than a caress before he straightened. I hadn't moved from the moment his mouth had met my skin. He left me and I took a gasping breath, not realizing I'd been holding it. Not realizing I craved his warmth, his nearness, until he was gone. My camera's gonna die, but I've been talking about this for so long. That part is my favorite part, and then there's more part. I'm gonna just kind of skim over this. He basically writes her a poem with the words that she didn't understand, and he calls them love poems, which I think is so cute. Anyways, so they go through that, and she starts realizing how similar they are and how she just wants to tell him that she understands how he's feeling, but she just doesn't. And yeah, that's kind of all right now. She also learns there's like some spring holiday that they're doing, and there's some fairies there that are from different courts, so she's not allowed to be there because they will try and harm her because she's human. And there keeps being this she that people keep discussing, like I didn't mention, but in one of the other chapters, one of the fairies from a different court, I think the autumn court or the summer court or something, is dropped in his borders with their wings ripped off, and he just keeps yelling, she took my wings, she took my wings. And he was bleeding so badly that they couldn't help him, and he died. And it was just like a very sad moment, and Pharaoh was there trying to comfort the dying fairy, and Tamlin was like, why did you do that? Like, why, with everything that happened, with what happened to Andrus, why did you do that? And she was like, well, nobody deserves to die alone. And that she feels bad and sorry for what she did to Andrus, and that she hates that how much hate she had in her heart for the Fays, and that she didn't, like, she wished she could take it back. And now we're at chapter 20. That was everything. I was gonna do a little time lapse of me reading, but my camera's dying, so I can't do that. But I will update you soon. Okay, so I'm not at chapter 30 yet, but bro, this book has me crying. I just got to chapter 28. I'm about to start it, but bro, so for everyone who's read the book that's watching this, I'm at the part where Ryzen comes and finds out that Feyre is, like, Feyre and Tamlin, like, love each other or whatever, and he's, like, threatening to, like, kill her, basically, and he, like, he doesn't, but he has Tamlin beg him to not tell Amanthra, and like, whatever. So that same, like, night, Tamlin goes into her room and, like, apologizes to her for everything, and then tells her that she has to go home, and she's extremely upset. because she just started being happy there. She just started letting herself feel these feelings she has for Tamlin, and then they have sex, or make love, or whatever you want to call it. I hate when people say make love, it makes me uncomfortable, but and then he tells her that she has to leave at dawn, bro. And then he says that he loves her. I can't. I thought this whole book was gonna be just Tamlin and Feyre content. That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted. Now she has to go back home, and she doesn't know when she's gonna see him again. So I feel like that means I'm not gonna see them again until the next book, because I mean, I still have a good chunk of the book left, so maybe not. But I have a feeling that, like, some shit's gonna go down, and whatever, she's gonna have to flee from her village, and then I'm not gonna see Tamlin until the next book, maybe. I don't even know. I know some of the books are in different point of views, so I don't even know if the next book is in her point of view, and I just want Feyre and Tamlin content. And I feel so bad for Tamlin, and I feel so bad for Feyre, because she's finally happy. She's never been happy with her life, and she's finally happy. No, because this one fucking line says it all. Let me go to it. My father once told me that I should let my sisters imagine a better life, a better world, and I told him that there was no such thing. I ran my thumb over his mouth, marveling, and shook my head. I never understood because I couldn't believe that it was even possible. I swallowed, lowering my hand, until now. His throat bobbed. His kiss that time was deep and thorough, unhurried and intent. And at the bottom it says, it was the happiest moment of my life. Tell me why I shouldn't be crying right now, because if somebody says that I shouldn't be crying right now, I don't care. I don't care. I'm upset, okay? I'm gonna cry again. I just realized that the cover makes sense. The cover is Andress, isn't it? Yeah. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna read more. I'm very sad. I'll update you in 2 chapters. I'm on chapter 30. I don't feel like there's not much of an update. I'll update you when I feel like it. Okay, so I haven't been updating, because I've just been reading. I'm on, like, chapter 32 or something, 33, I don't know. But I'm just finding out about the blight and the fact that it's not actually a thing. And that Amarantha fucking cursed Tamlin, that a human girl has to love him in 7 years, 7 times, or whatever. And I'm gonna cry. Feyre didn't say it in time, and now I'm worried that we can't fucking break this curse at all, and then I'm upset, and I feel like I'm not gonna see Tamlin for the rest of this book until, like, the end, and, like, something bad happens, and I'm gonna fucking cry. I'm gonna cry. I don't even want to keep reading because I'm scared. I know this is ridiculous, but I feel like people that read understand. And I know that I haven't heard of anybody crying in this book. Like, I've watched, like, reading vlogs and stuff, and so I didn't expect it to be sad. I didn't expect there to be a romance, to be honest with you, because no one really talks about it. At least in what I've seen. But I am very upset right now. Oh my god. Alice is mad at her for not breaking the curse or whatever. And I'm mad at Tamlin for not letting her stay for a few more days so that she could find the courage to tell him that she loves him. Instead of just sending her back, regretting that she didn't say it. Now she's back in Prithian, regretting it more because it could have saved him. Why did you do that, Tamlin? Why? And I'm sorry if you can hear my dog barking, because my dog is annoying sometimes and likes to bark at 2 in the morning. It's 2 in the morning, by the way. I am extremely upset. I'm extremely upset. If this doesn't get better, I'm going to be so sad. How long is this book? 400, I'm trying not to look at the words. 419. Okay. I don't know how many, I have like a little over 100 left. What am I at? I'm at 287 right now. I can't do math, so I'm going to use my calculator, okay? Alright. So 419 minus 287 is 132 pages. Okay, I have 132 pages left, and if this freaking stuff doesn't get better, I'm going to be so upset. And I am trying to stop cussing because I realized that I've been doing that a lot in this video, and I have to cut out a lot of stuff. But screw Amarantha. Screw her. Tamlin don't want your booty. Tamlin don't want you. Just accept it and move on. Rysand is obviously all up your freaking butt. Why don't you marry him? Huh? Also, I think I accidentally spoiled myself because I freaking found a TikTok where I was posting a TikTok and there was a hashtag of Feyre and Rysand, and then I clicked on it because I was like, there's no way. And then I freaking saw a TikTok and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go away because I'm gonna end up spoiling myself. And I swear to God, if they become a couple, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be so mad because Rysand is just icky. He's icky. I don't like him. If they become a couple, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be very angry. Very angry. Anyways, I'm gonna continue reading now. Okay, so she just made a deal with Amarantha that if she was able to complete 3 tasks, she was able to complete 3 tasks, 1 task every full moon, or solve her riddle, she would be able to break the curse and get Tamlin and whatever. So I'm hoping that she'll be able to solve the riddle, or, you know, do the tasks, because I really want this to have a happy ending. I really want her and Tamlin to be together, and I want her to be able to take his little mask off and see his face. That's what I want. I really hope that happens, because I'm getting very sad. And also, I accidentally broke the spine of this book, and I don't like breaking the spines of my books, so it's really bothering me, but I'm trying. I just don't want to look at it. I'm not going to look at it. I thought maybe it would make me want to break the spines of my books more, but it's making me hate it. So, anyways, I'm gonna finish reading. I'm on chapter 35. I have 104 pages left. So, it is currently 2:30, and I am ah. That is how I feel right now. Just ah. Okay, I'm gonna finish this, or I'll update when I update. Okay. Okay, so it's the next day. I am on chapter 38. So I just saw Feyre's first trial was the worm thing, and she broke her arm and she's in her cell and she's like basically dying. Ryzen goes into her cell and makes a deal with her, saying that he would heal her as long as she stayed in the night court with him for 2 weeks every month, right? And Feyre's like, go to hell, goodbye, like, get away. But then she thinks about, like, the stuff he said, that she was dying, and that by the time somebody were to come to heal her, she'd probably already be dead. And she just wanted to be able to save Tamlin from this curse and everybody else in the, like, other courts and in his court. And so she bargains with him, and they end up settling on a week instead of 2 weeks, and they make the deal, and now she has a tattoo on her arm, basically, because he said that it's tradition for deals to be marked or something. I'm about to read the rest of it. I don't know how many chapters are in the book. There's 46. Okay, so I'm like, math, I don't know it. 8 chapters? 8 chapters left? Yeah, 8 chapters. Okay. I will be back when I finish, probably, or if something else happens. Hi guys, I finally finished A Court of Thorns and Roses, and when I tell you, I was in shambles. I was crying so hard. So the first trial, she had to, like, defeat this worm monster. She defeats it. And then the second trial, she has to read this riddle and answer it, or like some question and answer it, but she can't read. So then Ryzen helped her. Also, she made a deal with Ryzen, which I'm pretty sure I talked about. Then the last trial, she has to kill 3 fairies, and she killed the first 2, and then she gets to the last one, and it's Tamlin. And she's like, this is where I'm crying. I'm like sobbing. I'm like, oh my god. This book is an absolute masterpiece. Mwah. I gave it a 6 out of 5 stars. I put my review on Storygraph. I'll probably put it on Goodreads too. I'll probably put a screenshot up here so you can read it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think I'm going to do a reading vlog for every single one of the books of ACOTAR, because I'm absolutely in love. I'm in love with the story, and the more I look at it, I think I do like the broken spine. Looking at this, just looking at it makes me happy. It makes me feel so many emotions. By the end of the book, when by the end of the book, I wanted to cry tears of joy. That is what I wanted to do. This book is just, I don't know if anybody else felt so emotional during this book, but this book is an emotional roller coaster, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was just amazing. And now I'm sad to leave this world, but there are other books, and I can't read the second book this month, but I will be reading it next month, so do look forward for that reading vlog. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Like, comment, subscribe if you want more content like this. Yeah, bye!